I didn't know Al Golden personally, but I know who Al Golden was, right? I knew Al Golden as the head coach at Temple and at Miami, and had an unbelievable reputation. And so it was a unique opportunity for me to kind of interview a person over time. And so we were able to do Zoom interviews while they were, kind of going through their season, just to stay in contact, just to talk. But I wanted to respect his process of preparing each week for the Cincinnati Bengals. And so I was looking for a guy with head coaching experience. That was to me something that we did not have on our staff that I thought was going to be extremely valuable. And he has that, but also a guy that has intelligence. The more we met, the more we talked, I learned right away this person understands football. He understands scheme. And I was also looking for a person that didn't want to come in here and just drop his playbook, right? And say, hey, this is what we're doing. No, Al Golden was a guy that said, hey, let me evaluate what you all are doing. Let me evaluate your players, and let's put together the best scheme, right? And ultimately, he is the defense coordinator. And I want to make sure everybody understands, Al Golden's defense coordinator. Marcus Freeman is not the defense coordinator, and he has to take this thing over. But the ability to come in and to adapt to what our players know, I think is a huge benefit for our players. My job is to always take care of our players, right? And so this will be their third defensive coordinator in 3 years. And so if you talk about 3 defensive schemes in 3 years, that's difficult, that's tough. But the ability for somebody to come in and say, okay, let me learn what they know, and then let's enhance it from there, that to me was what I was looking for. When we made the decision to make a change at the offensive line coach position, Harry HIESTAND is a name that came from me from multiple different angles, not just Tommy Rees, but from our athletic director, from guys that were in the NFL. Everybody kept coming back to Harry HIESTAND. And so when I met with Harry, I didn't know him. I knew his reputation. He was actually the O-line coach with the Bears when I was drafted there in 2009. And so I knew of him, but his reputation was unbelievable. And so when we met, I was very clear on the expectations of our coaches here at Notre Dame. And he is exactly what we're looking for in our offensive line. Resume is not really long, but when they interviewed him and you hear the way people talk about CHANSI Stuckey, it's unbelievable. Tommy Rees had a chance to talk to Dabo Sweeney about him. I talked to Tony Elliott, who played with him, I think, at Clemson. And I talked to Dave Aranda. And it's always interesting to talk to a current head coach of a position coach, right? It's not always great. But the things Dave Aranda said about him, I was blown away. And so I wanted Tommy to put him through the X's and O's, right? You can teach me how to run a post, a corner, and a comeback, and I'm like, oh, you're good. But Tommy put him through the ringer. Tommy came in and said, he's the guy I want. So I said, let me interview him. I spent 30, 45 minutes. I'm like, he's the right person. He's the right person for our program. And so that's ultimately how we decided on CHANSI. I mean, ultimately, the selling point is, do you want to be at Notre Dame? Do you believe in what Notre Dame can do for your future, right? And we're not looking to match. We're not looking to do anything. We're trying to say, hey, here's the position. Do you believe this is what's best for your career? I mean, I had to fight guys for our offensive coordinator, right? Obviously, I know it's out there that there's a lot of teams and a certain team that won him a couple of weeks ago. And so ultimately, my conversation with Tommy Rees is, do you want to be here, man? Is this where you want to be? And do you see yourself getting to your ultimate goals from Notre Dame? And obviously, we were able to fight off a lot of people to get him. Same thing with Dylan McCullough. Same thing with Al Golden. It's when you're at Notre Dame, people want your guys. It's a part of it. When you have success, people want a part of that staff. And so ultimately, my job is to continue to lift as I rise, right? A head coach at Notre Dame, it doesn't get any better than that. But I think we have a staff full of people that have goals and aspirations. And my job as head coach is to try to continue to do what's best for our players here, but also help these coaches, individuals get to their ultimate goal.